the sticks, the drinks are cold, and the scorecard's ready to go. Time to hit the links.
My hands are shaking because I'm still celebrating what DJ had just done. But also cameras are rolling, 20 people surrounding the green. If I make this, there might actually be a dog pile on the tee green.
This is On the Tee, presented by Wisconsin Golf Trips.
But I just looked, and it was the first time in my life I've heard a collective audience groan. I've heard it on TV so many times when somebody misses the big putt, but it just slides past the left side, and I hear, oh.
Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue. Alongside Bally Sports' Stephen Watson, here's Gabe Neitzel.
Special guest here on the tee, joining us right off the top to defend his bad takes.
I don't know how much... I'll be defending
this
one. I definitely will be defending this one.
All right.
I have not heard the audio yet.
So we're going to hear this right now. You haven't heard it, and Josh is exasperated behind the glass. I don't know what's going on there.
Gabe, he didn't even let you bring the show in. He just jumped in, didn't set anything up. You didn't get introduced. He just said, I got a little frantic energy going right now. Hey, I'm on a golf show. I'm playing in a member guest on Thursday, Friday. I got the member guest energy.
Well, I mean...
Champion?
Well, he just played in his member guests.
Yeah, we actually won our last match to make sure we weren't the bottom feeders. So we finished high. That's what it's all about.
There you go. Yeah, finished on the high note. So,
a lot of people finish high at member guest.
A lot of things happening. That's very true. A lot of things happening in the world of golf. We kind of skipped all of the dramatic stuff last week, Senate hearings and all that, because we had feel-good stuff to talk about with Stephen playing 10 golf courses in the matter of 39 and a half hours with DJ Piowski of No Laying Up. So also last week, with all that drama going on, Rory McIlroy said that he would rather retire than play on LIV because there's still so much up in the air as to what's going to happen between LIV and PGA Tour, DP World Tour, all those things. So on 1 or 0, which is a game Scalzo and Brust play on a daily basis, they discussed this. And here's what Ben Brust had to say about world number 2, Rory McIlroy.
I don't care. I'm done with Rory, as Greg was saying, D-U-N done. I'm so sick of him. He hasn't won a major in 10 years. He's got a beautiful swing. I get it. He bops around the golf course with that dorky little walk where he's boop, 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 boop. You don't do anything. You celebrate getting second place by holding out on 18 in the Masters 2 years ago. Then you take on the face of the PGA Tour. Then you get LIV Golf gets in with the PGA Tour. Now you're trying to be even more above LIV. You're annoying, and you're not any good. If you were good, you would have won another major by now. I'm done. I'm done. Win something, then talk. He's all talk, no win.
World number 2.
Swing, bro.
Literally the second best player in the world and a sport. And you're telling me he's no good.
Look, what I learned from that is the world rankings need a better system in terms of putting more weight on wins and majors. If we're gonna put weight on majors as we do talking about it in success of golf, I think the world rankings should put more weight on those. Top 5s, top 10s, that's great. You're collecting a great paycheck and and that's great. I don't care about world number 2. I care about winning something. He won the Scottish Open. Did he win the Open Championship this weekend? No, he won the Scottish Open.
Wait, the Open Championship has not happened yet, but friend of show Rory McIlroy is clearly listening because he goes out and wins the Scottish after
keep talking trash, man.
Yeah. Well,
I think that's only good
because he's not going to win the Open. It was a cool story 20 years ago when his dad placed a bet on his kid to win the Open Championship by age 23, and unfortunately, that's when he peaked. That's when Rory peaked.
So, I mean,
come on, you guys got to admit that little boppy bounce.
I love that. I love the Rory swag because that's when he's feeling good.
Good.
Okay, so here's
argument
Rory.
of him being good is just ridiculous.
Here's Rory's finish.
I'll give you the majors thing. But we've seen that as a trend of golf, that it's really hard to win those tournaments. And guys have won them in bunches and then cooled off. Same thing happened to Jordan Spieth. Maybe the same thing is happening to Scotty
We've had
Scheffler.
this discussion, us three, about how I love Scotty Scheffler. And you're like, this is the trend. Like, Brooks won a couple, and Jordan won a couple at one point. This is how it's going. But again, that's my point, is for Rory to be this big figure, I want him to have more majors in his repertoire. Otherwise, I'm just like, shoo away.
I mean, having 4 is historically great, which is what he has. But here's Rory in the last 7 majors. Second, 8th, tied 5th. Third, did miss the cut the Masters. T7, second. Do you have any idea how good that is?
It's very good. What's Scheffler? Better than him?
Because he has one win?
Yes.
Yeah, I will give you Scotty.
Don't we value more wins than we do top 5s and top 10s? I know golf is a hard sport. There's so much competition right now. There's a ton of parity because everyone's game is good. But why you love Tiger, Gabe, is because he was unbelievable no matter what at winning in the biggest moments.
Yeah.
Rory does not do that.
Well, nobody does what Tiger did.
I know, but that's my point. Is like to put Rory in this, like to be defending him as this. He's so good though. No, he's not. He's just like everyone else. He's no different than anyone who's Rodgers, right? We all talk about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
he won a Super Bowl early in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't won a Super Bowl lately. Then why does Rory get so much love about top 2s and top 5s?
Because he also has 4 major championships, which is like historically great.
How long ago?
So yeah, he won his last one a decade ago.
And that's the thing. That's
and
just a long
contending.
existence of being in the mix and not breaking through and winning. It's enough time for somebody who's got 4 majors to break through if he's always in the mix. Like again, what really bothers me is the celebration when he holed out on 18 at the Masters. He had a great last round. I'm pretty sure like he was the best round of that day.
Are you talking about last year's Masters?
2 years ago,
when he chipped in
from the bunker
to shoot a 62.
Exactly. It was a great moment, but he acted as if he won the Masters. That to me was like, all right, he's not not a winner. Like, he's not like your guy Tiger, and he never will be.
Well, I mean, nobody is.
I
like
get
that's the point.
But
like,
don't you want
is.
somebody who tries to be that guy, who wants to be like a Tiger?
And I think Rory does. Like that's the problem. Like, but it's
Everybody
just
wants
so
to be
hard. Yeah,
Tiger.
it's just you can't replicate what Tiger is, what Tiger was. I'm sure everybody would love to be Michael Jordan. Everybody would love to be Tom Brady. Like that's not the way it works. Rory has done something with his 4 majors that only 29 other players in the history of golf have
I
done.
think what I've appreciated most about Rory in the last calendar year since all the live stuff came out is that he has backed up his performances while also taking on the role of being the face of golf. Because Tiger has...
And a sacrificial lamb.
Also that, very, very true. I mean, he put himself out there and got slapped in the face by Monahan and still goes out and won recently and just won the Scottish Open. And, I mean, yeah, I think Rory McIlroy would like to have more than 4 majors, but...
I have a legitimate question this time. Not like just trying to rile
not
some
just a
stuff
bit.
up here. So... when it was MJ, then it became, I'd probably say LeBron, right? Like there's these different eras.
Yeah.
Who's been the guy since Tiger? You know what I mean?
So it's gone in waves, where it was kind of Rory in that immediate space because Tiger, last won a major in 2007.
Yeah, Rory became...
before then he won again in 2019. It was such a large gap. Rory was that guy right away because he collected 4 in like 3 years.
He became the 3rd golfer ever to have 4 majors by age 25.
Yeah.
Jack, Tiger, and Rory.
So he was that guy, and then he cooled off. And then everybody thought it was going to be Spieth, because Spieth won back-to-back majors, then won his 3rd at the Open in 2017. And then after that, it was kind of Brooks, because Brooks won 4, won his 5th earlier this year. But Brooks Koepka has surpassed Rory, because he's got 5 majors, Rory's only got 4. But in terms of modern-day players, I mean, Brooks is the only one with more than 4 with 5.
And so I get that, do you guys think it's needed in golf to have like somebody who's a primary star?
No.
Yes. I mean, in order for golf to reach the heights in terms of viewership and all of that, yes, they need a primary star that's going to draw people in. But
the guy who golfs 100 holes in 39 hours probably doesn't think that because you just love golf.
I disagree with Gabe only because I think if we hold the standard of golfers to the Tiger era, everybody is going to fail. You need players to be invested in by the tour or whatever we're going to call this new-looking thing whenever it's all figured out.
Currently, Nuco. Very creative.
Nuco. I think you want as many different stars that can create their own brands, similar to what we have currently in the NBA. I think the NBA brands their stars better than any other professional sport, and we're on the MJ, LeBron. LeBron's on his way out. Now you've got I guess the international guys.
Well,
I don't
you've
know.
got Jokic and Giannis. You have all these guys. Like, I don't know who that next one is, and I think everybody's had those conversations. Who's going to be the face of the league after LeBron? I mean, is it going to be one guy, or is it going to be a bunch of guys? Is it going to be, if Ja Morant gets his act together, can it be Ja and Giannis and Jokic and Embiid and,
Wembanyama.
Well, yeah, Wemby, provided that he kind of
I like Wemby.
grows.
I still don't know how to pronounce his last name.
I also-
There's an
It's
N
easy,
and an M.
yeah.
It's-
I also
like
think
Wemby.
there's a reason we haven't heard from Tiger a lot lately, because if we heard Tiger's thoughts about what's going on in the world of golf and, with the merger and whatever that might be, it kind of clouds them trying to lean into their stars right now. And I actually think the game's in a good place. I really do. And I think that on any given week, I find myself rooting for 5 different guys, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, again, I'm a casual golf fan. I watch all the majors, and then maybe, just maybe, if there's a Sunday that I'm sitting around, I'll watch the end of a tournament. But I'm more likely to not watch that Sunday at the end of the tournament if there's not one guy pulling me in there. So that's where I'm with Gabe, where it's just like, that's why I call out Rory, right? Like, it's because if he was that, I probably would appreciate golf more.
I mean, but to counter argument you there, like, Rory is on that leaderboard on those Sundays.
I
He just
know.
hasn't won it. I mean, he should be drawing
that's
you in.
my point. For 10 years, is when you draw such a exposure to yourself before age 25, you had 4 majors, you guys said, or 23, whatever it is. When you don't carry that level of expectations, or just have one every 2 years, like, you're gonna lose me tuning in to watch you get top 10. Like, you just are. Like, he just won for the first time in how long, too, when in the Scottish Open?
I mean, I don't know, 7 months.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not that long.
Not that long. Again, but the Scottish Open doesn't, like, move the needle if that's the first one in 7 months.
Which is bad for the tour, because they want that thing to move the needle, because it's supposed to be this co-sanctioned event and all these different things.
I saw the tee times. I didn't even know it was a PGA Tour event.
Look, we can get into how they just have botched this whole Scottish Open thing. As the casual golf fan over there, I'm sure you don't care.
No, I do. Because I was like, is this a PGA Tour event, or is he playing a European tour? I was just confused looking at the ESPN app.
Correct. And they made it nearly impossible. They moved up tee times. They made it nearly impossible if you're a golf fan to actually, like, watch it live. They buried it on the CBS Sports app, which, who the hell has the CBS Sports app?
I don't.
No, and few do, is kind of the point. And then they air it back live and pretend that it's live. They air it back later, pretend it's live, even though it's taped. The whole thing's a mess. But I will ask you this. If Rory wins this week, will you come back with us next week?
I'll eat as much crow as you want.
And
I won't eat
craft
dog food
No,
like I will when if the Packers win the NFC North, but I can craft an apology.
Yes, I was just looking for, like, a formal apology to Rory McIlroy.
Steven, what else would you, if he wants an apology, what else would you like me to do?
No, I'm still thinking back to, Rory's last 2 golf seasons in majors, and, like, he's had some really heartbreaking losses. Like,
Yes.
Did you watch the Open last year?
Likely
When Rory was leading in the final day, and Cam Smith came from behind and took it over.
But again, like, that's just gonna, you as a fan of golf are gonna be like, man, I feel for Rory. As the person who tunes in for those 4 majors, that's all you're going to see, and all you're going to remember is like, well, there's Rory again. It's been 10 years since he won a major. No surprise, he's choking. And then he's celebrating, chipping in for getting second.
I think part of Rory's brand has been, like, his failures just as much as his successes. And he talked about this a couple of weeks ago when he was asked about, like, are you just tired of coming up short? And he's just like, as long as I'm putting myself in the position, I'll take being in contention on a Sunday at a major 100 times over not. And I feel like that, but that, like, part of his failures is what makes him so intriguing. I think it makes him more humanizing than somebody like Tiger, who was literally a robot.
Yeah. He was a machine. All right, Benny, I can see, like, your eyes slowly closing. You're, like, out of gas right now.
Girlfriend had three birthday dinners this weekend, so I'm a little tired.
3 birthday dinners.
That seems excessive.
That's what I said on the show. I was like, that's too many, right?
Yeah. I mean,
3 birthdays?
you get one, right? You're an adult. You get one.
Was it like a milestone birthday?
Well, she might be out of her workout right now, so I don't want her to hear this.
I highly doubt. I mean, again, I'm a fan of your girlfriend. I doubt she's a fan of this show.
Preset number 1.
Maybe she's a Rory fan.
94.5.
Maybe.
Turns on the car and
It just
there I
happens
am
to be
talking
there.
about her birthday. She's like, what the hell?
All right, Benny, get out of here. We
Ben,
appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys. Hopefully I'm not writing an apology because
No,
Rory's going to miss the cut.
I hope we get to talk to Ben Prust again
Hey,
next
Ben,
week.
Ben, if Rory misses the cut, I'll do something for you.
Deal.
Oh, God.
You name it.
Oh, God.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't have made it so open-ended, Steven.
That's where that's going to be a mistake.
Yeah. We just did appropriateness training, so I'll have to scale it
All
back.
right. It's Ben Brust, Ketchup Scalzo with Brust. 4 to 6 weekdays right here on 94.5 ESPN. Steven had a really cool event this past week with his dad coming into town for the first time, getting play with his dad in the member guest at his club. We'll discuss that coming up next. But first, our opening segment brought to you by Mulligan's Irish Pub and Grill in Franklin, where everyone gets an extra stroke. And right now, caller number 4 at 800-990-3776 wins a $25 Mulligan's gift card. Caller 4 right now wins a $25 Mulligan's gift card to Mulligan's Irish Pub and Grill in Franklin, where everyone gets an extra stroke.
Back to the course and on the tee with Gabe and Steven after this on 94.5 ESPN.
After a crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. At Gruber Law Offices, we have the knowledge and experience to make sure you're protected. And we're here to help whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Mulligan's Irish Pub and Grill in Franklin provides the comfort of an Irish pub with the exciting atmosphere of a sports bar. Locally owned and operated, Mulligan's has 21 HD TVs for you to watch all the big games. Try their award-winning food, including Milwaukee's best chili, Irish lamb stew, and pub specialties. Enjoy the outdoor patio this summer at Mulligan's, voted Milwaukee's best happy hour and best Irish pub. A fun place to be on game day or any day. It's Mulligan's Irish Pub and Grill on 27th Street in Franklin, where everyone gets an extra stroke.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Gabe, where do you think our group should be taking our golf trip next year?
Jason, I don't know. Do you have time to figure it all out and get all the reservations made? I certainly don't.
Not really. I mean, I'm so busy. If I only knew somebody to call that might do all the work for us.
Oh, I know about Wisconsin Golf Trips. Their main business is booking groups from around the world to play all the great courses in our state, but they're now doing outbound trips for groups each year to places like Michigan, Minnesota, and Nevada. Plus, Wisconsin Golf Trips is even booking custom packages for Scotland and Ireland.
Oh, wow. Let's hit them up.
WisconsinGolfTrips.com.
Hey, this is Gary Ellison for my good friends at the Jewelry Center. It's the only place I go when I'm looking to get some new jewelry. Dean and his team are always friendly and know just what I'm searching for when I stop by. I may not always know what type of jewelry I want, but the professionals there sure do. Plus, if I need repairs on watches or other jewelry, the Jewelry Center does that too. Find the Jewelry Center in Burlington, Brookfield, and Greenfield, or shop their entire collection online, including their popular Lightbox lab-grown diamonds at shoptjc.com.
Over the past year, we've been hard at work improving our sales processes, expanding and remodeling our facilities, investing in new technology, and continuing our commitment to serve our customers, employees, and community. That's why at Boucher, when our customers leave the dealership, we hope we've made a customer for life. Whether you're in need of a new vehicle, are stopping in for routine maintenance, or are in need of collision work, we will be here to help. With 20 locations throughout southeastern Wisconsin and 30 brands, we've got thousands of new and used vehicles for you to choose from. Our dedicated employees have been named a 2022 top workplace for the past 11 years, and we always have been and will continue to be family-owned and operated. Proud to be your Wisconsin family dealership group since 1977. Visit us today at Boucher.com.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Did you know that when you talk, read, or sing with your child, you're helping to shape their brain? Every parent has the power to create a strong start for our children from the day they are born. Visit talkingisteaching.org for free tips and ideas on how to transform everyday moments into magical moments for learning.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. One call, that's all.
You're listening to On the Tee with Gabe Neitzel and Stephen Watson on 94.5 ESPN.
All about the drive on the tee, brought to you by Ewald Automotive. Shop the Ewald Automotive Group, home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile limited warranty on all new vehicles. Visit any of their 8 locations today, in-store or online. EwaldAuto.com. At Ewald Automotive. They make it easy, and we should all drive and really want to do what Steven did this weekend at his member guest. We dive into that right now thanks to our friends at Ewald Automotive.
Sometimes it's all about the drive. But off the tee, it's all about the drive. The best and biggest shots of the weekend.
That house is like 400 yards away. Is that good? That's unbelievable.
It's all about the drive. On the Tee is brought to you by Ewald Automotive. Shop the Ewald Automotive Group, home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile limited warranty on all new vehicles. Visit any of their 8 locations today, in-store or online at ewaldautomotive.com. Ewald Automotive, we make it easy.
Now, I don't belong to a private club. Steven does. But I think one of the most intriguing things, at least for me, in terms of being a part of a club like you are, Steven, is the member guests.
Yeah.
I've been invited. I've been the guest. And I've got one coming up with a buddy of mine back in Madison at the beginning of August that I've played with him a couple of other times. It's a blast. It's so much fun. I love doing it because it's a friend that he's got a couple kids now. He lives in Madison. I live in Milwaukee. Like, we don't get to see each other very often, but we get to do this, and it's a blast. I love it. The member guest is such an intriguing part of being a member at a club. And you had a very special guest this year in your member guest at the Country Club of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Or Wisconsin Country Club.
I have played now in 2 member guests, and I have been a guest of my dad's back in Philadelphia. And I told him that I want to begin a tradition of a home and home. And so I had the honor of having my dad come in and be my guest for the member guest this past weekend. It's my first time ever playing in the member guest at Wisconsin Club, or the Wisconsin Country Club now. And I
got to get the branding right.
I was just excited.
They're a partner of the show. We got to get their branding right.
Fair enough. Yes, you're right there. I was just excited to get the opportunity to play in the event, but also I took a lot of pride in the fact that I could have my dad come out there and that he would want to come out there and take a flight from Philadelphia. Meant the world to me, and I'm just going to come out and say it. We were terrible.
Just getting rid of all of the suspense.
Yeah. We got out there. You know, I played 180 holes earlier in the week. Mm-hmm. Body held up well. I actually golfed my ball pretty well. But you know how those events happen. Like, we were the B flight. Everybody's handicapped.
So in yours, is it a best ball? Is it both scores count? How does it work?
Yeah, it's a best ball.
Okay.
Match play. You have
for 9 holes.
5 9-hole matches. You play every team in your flight, and then whoever has the most points
because
wins
every
the flight.
hole is a point.
Correct. And the most you can have is +3, and the worst you can have is -3. And where you're at after all of those 9-hole matches, you move on. If you win your flight, and then there's an opportunity to get in as the second place team.
Yep.
Well, my dad and I lost our first 4 matches.
And you said you played pretty well?
Yeah, but it's just kind of one of those things where I learned in this event in particular, it's not what you shoot, it's when you shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad and I were victim to some pretty bad luck in that regard. Like, we played some high handicappers that played us really well. And, one team, guy was even as a 13 handicap through 5 holes. All of a sudden, we're 4 down. And, it's just, I'm not making excuses because, like,
13 handicaps. Yeah, well, 13 handicaps can do that.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do?
Yeah,
like, the guy's just playing good golf, you tip your cap and move on.
We played one group where, I got strokes, which was really fun. I don't get that very often. Played a +1 handicap, so I got a pop. We start off on a hole, and I miss a 4-foot par putt. Would have gone 4 for 3 to win the hole. Next hole, I'm also popping on. I go 4 for 3, and the guy goes 4 for 2. A 19 handicap who got double pop. So it was just like one of those weekends where you just felt like you couldn't catch a break. But it was such a special weekend for me and my dad. Like, it was... We were bummed that we didn't play better and we weren't a little bit more competitive, but it didn't change the fact that, like, the bigger picture of what that weekend meant to us and our golf bond. And my dad and my grandfather were the two that got me into this sport. And, like, we take vacations as a family now built around golf. So the chance to spoil him and have him be my guest and have him meet my friends and other people at the club and to see the smile on his face, the opportunity just to play together and knowing what that means to him as somebody who has, raised me to be a golfer. And every time we spend time together, the most intimate moments my dad and I ever have and the most intimate conversations we have are on the golf course. And to have that for 72 hours was really special and something I definitely don't take for granted. And there was a team that we played against that ended up beating us on the final few holes. And on the final hole, they walked up to us and they said, "We both lost our dad recently. And I hope you know how lucky you are that you can be out here with your dad." And, like, that really is where it resonated with me that this was way bigger than golf. I don't care at all that we were the bottom feeders of our flight. We did tie for last.
Okay, all right, hey.
We did beat the final team to make sure we were not sole possession of last. But that perspective really hit home with me and with my dad, and we couldn't help but just smile about the opportunity that we had together and making the most out of it together.
What's really special, I think, about this game, and, I joke I think I probably made the joke way too many times this year about how dumb you have to be in order to want to play golf as much as I play it, because it's a maddening game.
Yeah.
And there's a certain thrill in, trying to chase what perfection for golf looks like for you, whether you're a 22 handicap or whether you're scratch, whether you're +5, whether you're on the PGA Tour, LPGA Tour, whatever. But I think there's something about this game that the bonds just seem to be stronger because you get to play it with someone. Like, I played college baseball, love baseball, and through that, like, my parents both enjoyed watching me play. I enjoy going to ball games with them, but it's different going to a game. Maybe you have that love of football or basketball or soccer, whatever. It's just different when you get to play that sport with that family member or that person, that bond that you have. Again, and it could be somebody other than a family member. It could just be just a really good friend of yours. Like I said, for me, the member guest I look forward to every year, not just because of the golf and because of the course that my friend is a member at. It's a great golf course in Madison, but because for 72 hours, we get to turn back the clock.
Yeah.
And the bonds and just how it can bring people together, I think, is something that's really cool. And if you're somebody who's outside of golf, once you get in it, I think you finally start to pick that up. It's just one of the really cool things about this game that I love so much.
And I think the thing that's really fun about member guests is a lot of the members don't change their guests that I've noticed.
Yeah.
And I think that's also really cool that they can try and run it back. And they have stories of years where they had success and failure together. And that just adds to the storylines and the friendship and the growth. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most about continuing this with my dad is, like, we're going to come back next year fired up. Because, like, we had a poor showing. There were some people betting on us, and we did not deliver.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
See, that's the you get pari-mutuel bets on you because somebody thinks you're going to be doing well, and you start to get a little shaky. It's not great.
You know what's also funny about this game is I texted a buddy about this when they were asking how it was going, and I was like, we are grinding in our final match to make sure we're not in last place. Like, grinding over putts. Like, we could, and I putt well in the final match that helped win a couple of holes, but it's just, golf is so funny. Like, it meant nothing, right?
Yeah.
But, like, you still...
But it meant something to you.
Yeah. Like, I was not going to finish in last.
Yeah, and you got to make sure of it.
Bad for the On the Tee brand.
So here's the problem with my member guest. Because, again, this is a buddy of mine that I met after college. We worked together at ESPN Madison for a little bit. So, like, we hung out a lot as 23, 24, 25-year-olds in Madison. So, like, me, him, and his wife would, like, I mean, we would get after it. Like, I spent many a night on this guy's couch because he lived downtown. I lived over on the west side, so I would stay at their apartment. And the problem last time, I was unable to play 2 years ago. I had a previous commitment. Had Brian D's wedding from here at ESPN Milwaukee. I was the officiant, so couldn't play in the member guest. But our problem was we had played ourselves into a pretty good spot on Friday. And, okay, Saturday we got to come out. Well, we go back to his house.
Yep.
We're sitting on the back porch.
Yep, those conversations.
One beer turns into 3, turns into 5. Like, we peer pressured. At this point, they only had the one kid, but his wife's like, man, I got to get up with the kid, and I've got work tomorrow. Like, we peer pressured her to stay up until like midnight with us, and then she went to bed. I'm not quite sure what time we went to bed. And if you're unfamiliar with member guests, the wake-up call for day 2 on that Saturday,
yeah,
it's not late. It's not like you're teeing off at noon.
Day 2 balls were in the air at 8:30, and it felt like 4:30. As somebody who did hit a tee shot at 4:30 earlier that week, that was tough.
So it's tough because we want to do well, but at the same time, next thing you know, you're having a good time on Friday night, and it ends up hurting you on Saturday. I don't know if you and your dad had that kind of issue this past weekend.
We did after all of the festivities. Sunday morning was a rough one.
Okay.
But we had fun.
And they're fantastic. If you ever get the opportunity to play, I can't recommend it more, because if you get the opportunity to play it again, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member, like it's going to form a pretty strong bond. And I'm assuming you have a strong bond with whoever's inviting you to a member guest.
Yeah. It's a really unique golf experience, is I think, like, the way I will forever look at that event is it is a rare opportunity to just truly spend that much time playing that many opponents. Everybody there is just in a good mood because it's an opportunity that you can't pass up. And I'm forever grateful and thankful that my dad flew out here and made it possible for us to continue our golf journey together.
What I'm hoping for next year is you guys get to the shootout. And then we'll have your dad call in, and you guys can tell us how you ended up winning the shootout. That's what I'm hoping for next year on the tee.
I would love that. I mean, alternate shot. It's, when you got family on an alternate shot, we'll see if we're still talking after that. But I hope we get to that point.
I'm rooting like hell for you, Stephen. Rooting like hell. Just like we're rooting like hell for Rory McIlroy. The British Open, or if you just want to call it the Open, I get it, is my second favorite major. I love this week. And again, it goes back to the tradition and so many other things that go with this week. But I think it's a really cool event. I love it. Can't wait to talk about it. We begin our preview for it coming up next on the tee.
No ifs, ands, or puts. There's more On the Tee with Gabe and Steven coming up on 94.5 ESPN. Show the world what your business is made of with Three Tree Marketing.
So at Three Tree, we're storytellers through merchandise. Every brand we work with has a unique story, and we're there to tell it using merchandise, display, appreciation, and gifting.
President Kevin Van Rossum knows that's important.
There's promo peddlers again, or tchotchke vendors, or whatever cliche people want to use. So we work with our client partners to become an extension of their team. We provide ideas, unique offerings that fit budget, timing, as well as messaging.
Check out why Three Tree is the partner you need. ThreeTreeMarketing.com.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat.
with Freddie Coleman.
I got to give credit to somebody who works behind the scenes at ESPN Radio. He is Pat Costello, one of our producers, and he's a tennis fan like I am. But he said, Freddie, I really can't get excited about Wimbledon because of the lack of star power. And I thought about that. I said, other than Novak Djokovic, he's exactly right. That's why more than ever before, someone like Naomi Osaka, tennis needs her. In a post-Serena Venus Williams world, along Rafael Nadal. We don't know we're going to see him back on the course. Andy Murray was a star, but never had that kind of star appeal. And Roger Federer, one of my favorite players of all time, he's been long removed. And Novak Djokovic, he's a polarizing figure when it comes to being that kind of star that tennis needs. I can't believe I'm saying this, but that electricity needs to be there. Not just when Naomi Osaka, but even a Nick Kyrgios. He'd be welcome back, even with all the antics that he's been able to provide with tennis, which is something that tennis sorely needs. In 60 seconds, you'll find out exactly the wrong about Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City.
Welcome to Rap Stories, a show where I get the background stories on some of my favorite rap albums by the artists who made them.
I was like, Tracy, I really need that $100.
After Rule 336, I felt like I knew what I was doing in the studio.
Somebody said everything you did was in one take.
Who said that? And you had Bobby Brown, you had Dallas Austin. Them were the days when we had real celebrities in Atlanta, Georgia.
You know where you come from. You'll always be able to know where you're going.
I'm your host, David Dennis Jr., and we will see you soon.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I'm looking for fuel injector cleaner.
Right now, buy a bottle of Chevron Techron Complete Fuel System Cleaner and get one free. Only at AutoZone.
Will it also help with my mileage?
Get everything you need to restore your performance in MPGs.
Get in the zone.
Wait, is it good for trucks too?
Whatever vehicle you have, you can find the right products and parts at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
When it comes to the National Football League, there's no doubt that Patrick Mahomes of Kansas City, the quarterback superstar that he is king of the hill in the National Football League. I like to say about him, he's the biggest, baddest boy in the NFL jungle. But on a recent podcast, Mahomes was not going to let the L word take center stage over his career, that L word being legacy. He says, look, I'm going to do everything I can to maximize my ability and be the best quarterback I can be for this football team. That legacy word can get very, very muddy or muddy things up when it comes to somebody as great, who's on a great path that Patrick Mahomes is. At the rate he's going, we can have that conversation. Greatest of all time with him and Tom Brady, Joe Montana, etc. But the best thing about what he said in that podcast was that he was not afraid to lean into it. He was like, look, I know that conversation is out there. I know that conversation is going to be there. But I'm Patrick Mahomes. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for me. And that's going to have to be good enough for you. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Freddie Coleman.
This is On the Tee with Gabe Neitzel and Stephen Watson on 94.5 ESPN.
Just let me cry a little bit longer. I ain't gonna smile if I don't want to. Hey, man, we all can.
Before we get to opening our preview for the Open Championship and trying to figure out who I want to take, other than Rory, I think we both get 2 picks this week, and Rory is going to be one of them because of our status with Ben Brust, who joined us earlier after Benny ripped Rory McIlroy on Scalzo and Brust last week. If you happen to miss that conversation, make sure you download the podcast later today after the show when it becomes available wherever you get your podcasts. WisconsinOnDemand.com would be a good place to start as well. But today, it's been a long day for me, man. Like, if you're watching us on the video stream, which if you don't, again, WisconsinOnDemand.com.
My man's crushing coffee right now.
You made me notice, like, it's like 6:30 at night. Why is Gabe drinking out of a coffee mug? Well, because I've been up since 4 o'clock. Drove up to Trapper's Turn. I haven't been in a couple years. And I was kind of bummed because I wanted to check out the 12 North, the new par 3 course that they have up there. Didn't have an opportunity to do that because I played in the ESPN Madison Open today. Got an invite from a partner over there. Couldn't say no, so made it happen this morning. But I got to do something that was kind of fun. So Matt Hamilton is also left-handed. I don't know if anybody knew that. Matt Hamilton, Olympic gold medalist, teammate, co-host of Rutledge and Hamilton in ESPN Madison, 2 to 4 weekdays. And he was on the 9th tee of the Arbor course, or excuse me, the Canyon course, which is downhill par 5. And he was doing a thing because they were also trying to raise money for charity, the Catch Foundation, part of the American Family Children's Hospital. For $20, you could, give them $20 for the foursome. You could take it as if your drive was 300 yards, perfect, and 200 yards, 210 yards out in the fairway. And then Hamilton was going to also take a rip with this long drive driver that he had gotten. He told the story of he was in an outing a couple of years ago, and because he's left-handed and can swing it pretty well, like this guy's like, oh, I'm too old for this, and ended up giving a couple of long drive clubs. So he's got it's a longer shaft.
Like, how much longer is it?
I would say 2 to 3. I mean, I put it up against my driver. It's probably, 3 inches or so, which again doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot. Especially when you get that shaft, it feels so whippy. Like, it's just this long club. And, he's like, oh, if you guys want to take a rip, you can. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take it. First of all, downhill par 5, like 300 yards. Like, no, I can hit it past that.
I don't need your long club. Let me just rip my driver.
Well, but he's left-handed. So I'm left-handed. I'm like, I got to try this long drive driver. And
do we have video of this?
I wish somebody would have taken video. If I was thinking I would have had somebody take video, especially because like the group behind us was all ESPN Madison teammates as well, and they were on the tee, so you had to kind of wait because it was a short par 5. It was only like 500 yards downhill. I had given up because it was a blind tee shot on trying to find this thing. Like, I had hit it down there. Man, I can't find it. I guess we'll just go back and take advantage of we paid the $20. I guess we'll have to hit it from 200 yards out. Well, we had accidentally hit into the group in front of us.
Don't say we. You did.
I had accidentally.
That's nice of you to bring the team, but if it was your ball.
Yeah. And they weren't mad about it or anything either. They're like, hey, you playing at Callaway? Yeah. Oh, it's right here. It was just left of the creek. Perfect little flat spot, 115 yards away from the green.
So what do you think the total distance was? Did you get the 4?
I don't know if it did. So it was a back pin. My guess is it was pretty close to 4. Because it's listed as like a 505-yard hole or something.
There are a lot of par 5s that I've played in my life where I'm not even at 400 yards in 2 shots.
Yeah, we had 115 left. Little wedge in. Back up the hill.
You better make eagle, right?
We only made birdie.
Oh, come on.
I missed the putt.
Did you have both the shots? Was it a scramble?
Yeah, it was a scramble. Straight scramble.
So you had
4
the drive,
guys. Yep.
You had the approach shot.
Mm-hmm. And then all 4 of us had a putt at it. And I was always putting last in our group, and I missed the putt.
Nobody could pick you up.
No, but, hey, we still made birdie. Birdie's a good score. Can't be mad about a birdie.
I mean, 400 yards drive. You can be mad about a birdie. You can be mad about a birdie there.
I mean, it was the second time
the story is way cooler if you made eagle.
I understand. But I mean, if you get a chance to, I think that everybody should be able to swing a long drive driver.
I can maybe hit a 280-yard drive now with this long
Well, no,
shaft?
it's just I don't know, it's just different. It just feels different.
Yeah.
Because I had to be really conscious at the top to really try to set it because it just was...
My swing speed's too fast. My takeback's too fast. I feel like it would whip across.
It would not. Yeah, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't be swinging this thing.
No, I stick to my game, man. But maybe I'll try it.
If you can get your hands on a long drive driver, I'm just saying it's worth trying once.
Okay.
Even if it's just on the range. Get a little TrackMan out there, see how far you hit it. It was cool.
Wait, I got a transition for you.
Okay.
There's going to be a lot of long drives at the Open this weekend.
Oh, so I saw some pictures, and it doesn't look as baked out because famously, this course, Hoylake, Royal Liverpool, whatever you want to call it, it's got a couple different names, was a course that its previous 2 champions, Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, did not have to hit a lot of driver on. Tiger famously only hit 1 driver all week when he won here in 2006. If you go back and watch highlights, the final round, that thing is baked out.
Just a stinger session.
Oh,
from Tiger.
It's just a clinic. It looks a little more green, so it may be you may have to hit driver a little more often this week because it's not going to get the rollout that it did back in 2006, back in 2014. But I am super excited for this event. We'll make our picks. We'll dive into that coming up next here on the Tee. But first, I do have to tell you about our friends at WisconsinGolfTrips.com, the presenting sponsor of On the Tee. Their main business, booking groups from around the world to play all the great courses in our state, like the one Stephen played last week, all 10 of those public golf courses. However, they also do outbound trips for groups each year, places like Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada. But now they're also doing custom packages internationally for Scotland and Ireland. If you've always dreamt about doing that big international trip to one of those places, I would recommend both, even though I haven't been to Ireland. Heard it's great. That's next on my bucket list. But when you do a trip like that, well, where do I want to go? What courses do I want to play? How do I get from point A to point B? Where am I going to stay? If that seems to be overwhelming to you, that's where Wisconsin Golf Trips comes in. That's where Jason has you covered. It's your one-stop shop for the next golf getaway. They handle all the tee times, lodging, other logistics, plus transportation, and even dinner reservations. Wisconsin Golf Trips makes the entire process easy and stress-free. Make your golf trips a hole-in-one. All you have to do is go to WisconsinGolfTrips.com.
Forget about changing that dial. More On the Tee with Gabe and Steven next on 94.5 ESPN. Football Guy.
If that is the case, Tuesday is amazing because you get a free bonus square day off.
Football Guy.
Why is the Friday after Thanksgiving off, but the day before our independence isn't off?
Coming at it from different views. Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by Coors Light. Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. And available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Golf season is here, so make plans to play at Erin Hills. Erin Hills is the 9th-ranked public golf course in the nation. This beautiful course hosted the U.S. Open and the U.S. Amateur. Erin Hills is open all summer long. Book your reservations now for your golfing and lodging needs. If you want to plan ahead, Erin Hills is also accepting pre-booking for the 2024 golf season. You can search availability and begin your trip at erinhills.com. That's ERIN Hills.com.
Seriously injured? Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's, flavor is our family's business.
Looking for a hot ride this summer? Find yours this July at Potawatomi. You could win your share of $400,000 in cash and prizes, or rumble all summer long in one of 4 brand new Harley-Davidson motorcycles. It's the Hot Ride Motorcycle Giveaway this July, only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Visit paysbig.com/hot ride for more details. Must be 21 and a club member to play.
Evans Transportation is stoked for the Milwaukee baseball playoff push. After all, they're the complete player when it comes to logistics. But instead of being a 5-tool player, Evans is the ultimate 3-tool logistics partner. When manufacturers have accounting, shipping, and tracking needs, they come to Evans. And for the record, Evans is happy to leave the stuff to the real players. They'll stick to logistics. Good luck to Milwaukee from Evans and Delafield. Find them at evanstrans.com.
Ugh, your lunch is still in here from the last day of school? Ugh, everything is rotted.
Let's make our windows.
Ugh, did you learn that from Mom?
Yeah.
Well, you make a great point. Tell you what, let's clean out your backpack and then we'll...
from Pella.
Precisely.
Well, we can't stop the discovery of those rotting surprises you often find at the bottom of your kid's school backpack. Pella's limited lifetime warranty on wood windows and doors makes it so that you'll never have to worry about rotting windows again. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, make payments as low as $35 per window and $78 per patio door. Experience Pella's nearly endless possibilities for maximum design flexibility, featuring dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, and more. With Pella's limited lifetime warranty and payments as low as $35 per month per window, $78 per door, there's no reason to wait. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Gabe, where do you think our group should be taking our golf trip next year?
Jason, I don't know. Do you have time to figure it all out and get all the reservations made? I certainly don't.
Not really. I mean, I'm so busy. If I only knew somebody to call that might do all the work for us.
Oh, I know about Wisconsin Golf Trips. Their main business is booking groups from around the world to play all the great courses in our state, but they're now doing outbound trips for groups each year to places like Michigan, Minnesota, and Nevada. Plus, Wisconsin Golf Trips is even booking custom packages for Scotland and Ireland.
Oh, wow. Let's hit them up.
WisconsinGolfTrips.com.
For It's on the Tee with Gabe Neitzel and Stephen Watson on 94.5 ESPN.
I have always loved the Open Championship, and it's always been my second favorite major behind the Masters because not only of the tradition and being able to watch golf early in the morning and all those different things, but I always thought it meant something different for your legacy. Like if you had won one of the other majors plus a British Open, it meant that your game, to me, is a little more complete because you can hit a number of different shots. Augusta, you need to hit a number of different shots, but the U.S. Open, the PGA Championship, it's American golf, especially with the golf courses they go to now. You got to hit it high, you got to hit it soft, and the conditions are just different at a British Open. They just are. And if you need any more convincing of that, search out the shot that Rory McIlroy hits on the 18th at the Scottish Open this past Sunday.
That literally gave me chills. That
did other
two
things to
iron,
me.
that 2-iron stinger on 18 to close it out.
From 6 to midnight.
Yeah, that made me feel something. Oh boy!
But that little stinger, because you have to deal with the wind. You have to just figure out how to use the undulations around the green and hit the right slopes. And okay, this one's downwind. I can take advantage of it, but I can't hit it too far with the wedge or whatever. You have to be able to flight your golf ball. You have to hit a number of different shots in order to win an Open Championship.
I think the thing I love about it, and it's because I have not traveled yet overseas to play in Scotland, like I know you were just there last year, or Ireland, is it's unlike any golf I've ever seen.
Correct.
And it's intriguing, to your point, to watch guys play a different style of golf. But the other thing I love about it is I love coffee golf. Like I love being able to wake up early and just have that start my day instead of waiting for the leaders at 2:00 in the afternoon. I mean, I loved primetime golf a couple of weeks ago as well, like
out at LACC.
But I love having a cup of coffee and watching these guys go to work, and I think it's probably number 3 for me. I love the U.S. Open. Something about it, the challenge.
No, you're more patriotic than me. That's fine.
Yeah, I just love America. I mean, Augusta, I think, is a pretty easy number 1 for both of us and what that course means. But I think the PGA, unfortunately, is still a distant 4 when you're talking about the 4 majors. But this one's going to be fun. I think this is one of the most highly anticipated Opens as far as who could win, the storylines coming in, who's heating up at the right time, the state of golf. Because it was this time last year when Cam came back and beat Rory, and then everybody knew he was going to be going to live. And that was the biggest story in all of golf. And now a year later, we're talking about both of those guys potentially contending and Rory playing the best golf of his career since he won at that same event almost a decade ago. So I love the storylines coming in.
I do love the storylines coming in as well. And with Rory McIlroy winning last week at the Scottish, he won last time it was played here. He was right there at last year's British Open. He's playing fantastic golf. The expectations are sky high, and I get it. And I understand to a point where Ben is coming from. Again, if you missed that conversation, download the podcast, WisconsinOnDemand.com, where he came at us from the casual golf fan perspective of, man, it's been a decade since you won a major. Go get another one.
Yeah.
And I get that to a point because I want it so bad for Rory. I want him to get that next major. I would love for it to be at Augusta so he can complete the career Grand Slam. but I just want him to get another major because he has played some of the best golf in the world over the last 10 years since he won that major. And I feel it gets harder and harder and harder for him for every major that passes, and he doesn't win another one. And yet, I feel like if he can just rattle one more off, that the floodgates could open for this guy because he's been knocking on the door. He has been top 10 in 6 of the last 7 majors, including 2 seconds in last year's Open Championship where he finished 3rd and had the 54-hole lead.
And 6 straight top 10s on the PGA Tour coming into this event. So it's not how good he's been in majors, it's how good he's been recently. I mean, there is a reason he is the betting favorite and why I think this is as good of a shot that Rory has had of winning a major in the last few years, because I think the live drama and being the face of golf, like, he's used to that now. And a lot of that stuff is behind him. And him winning this past week at the Scottish Open and showcasing what he can do, and most importantly, that he got that putter going again. I mean, he made like 140 feet of putt on the Sunday round. Like that, I think that's what it's been holding him back in some of these Sunday finishes, especially at the Open last year. Dude couldn't make a putt down the stretch against Cam Smith, who went out and won it.
A couple of those were accidental makes, which you can get when the wind is blowing.
Yeah, it's a make. It looks the same in the score.
He did it on 18, and he also did it when he saved par, I want to say, on 13 or 14, where he got up, started walking after it because he thought he missed, and then had to stop because the ball somehow went in the hole.
Yeah. Looks the same circle on the scorecard.
But those are some of the breaks you need that he hasn't gotten or hasn't taken advantage of. I think of at the U.S. Open when the ball plugged in the side of the bunker. Oh, got the great break with the drop, but then couldn't get it up and down to save his par, right? And so you have to take advantage of the breaks when you get them. And for whatever reason, he just hasn't been able to do so at the major championships, which brings us to our Gruber Law Office's one call, that's all picks. Steven, who are you taking this week at the Open Championship?
I still don't know.
Okay, so we sat before the show.
I'm
you were
going
undecided.
back on myself right now.
Right before we came downstairs to do the show, you're like, I know who I'm taking.
Yeah, so a part of me really wants to pick Ricky because he finished second place to Rory back in 2014 on this golf course at the Open, and Ricky's looking for his first major. It's the storybook season for Ricky's return, but I am going to go with a different first-time major champion. I am going to go with an Englishman to win on his home soil.
Tommy
and
Ladd?
I am going to go with Tyrrell Hatton.
Whoa!
And his fiery personality to bring some fireworks on Sunday after his 6th place finish at the Scottish Open. He is a guy who has been playing really steady golf this golf season, and he's played that golf course a lot in his life. I feel like Tyrrell Hatton is due for his breakthrough major win. I'm going to go with him as my Gruber Law Office's one call, that's all pick.
This information coming from Kyle Porter, covers golf for CBS Sports. In the last 5 Open Championships, here are the top 10s. Tiger and 31 others have won top 10 in the last 5 Open Championships. DJ, Kuchar, Bob McIntyre, Fleetwood, and Finau each have 2. Rory and Brooks have 3 apiece. Nobody has 5, but there's one player who, 4 of the last 5 Open Championships, has finished in the top 10.
Say that beautiful name.
That's Jordan Spieth.
Yeah.
I am taking Jordan Spieth.
The golden boy.
He is going to win major number 4 this weekend at Hoylake, at Royal Liverpool, British Open. I love it. I'm probably going to get up early. All 3 days. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning, again, to go do that. I'll probably wake up at 4 o'clock on Thursday, Friday. Golf is going to be on.
Yeah, I love it. Jordan Spieth, this is going to be his 10th Open.
Yep.
He's never missed the cut.
Feel great. Feeling great about Spieth winning one.
Just another side note, real quick. Scottie Scheffler has not finished outside of the top 12 on the PGA Tour since October, and he has 2 wins this season, including the Players. His major championship results this season have been 10, 2, 3. So if you're spending some money on this weekend, it's hard to not bet on Scheffler or McIlroy. But
correct.
I do love your Spieth pick, and I'm going some dark horse magic with Tyrrell Hatton.
I can't trust Scotty's putter
on his home soil.
I don't think the recipe, if your putter's been not great during this stretch, like he has been ball striking the crap out of the ball. Like tee to green, the dude is just literally light years ahead of everybody else. But once he gets on the green, like it's just, you got to putt well to win one of these things. You have to, and he just hasn't been able to do it. I think you're going to see Scotty's name in the top 5. He's going to finish second or third, but he's not going to win.
And we just need Rory to make the cut, correct? According to Mr. Ben.
If Rory wins, we'll get a formal apology from Ben Brust next week on the show. If he misses the cut, you're going to have to do something, and you left it open-ended. I don't know what that's going to mean for you.
Yeah,
so we're rooting for Rory.
Poor.
Yeah, that was a bad decision by you.
If Rory wins, I could just slap Ben Brust like you did.
All right. I'm sure he'll agree to it. If not, I don't think Scalzo has slapped him yet, which we still had one slap left from all that money that we raised all those months ago. But I'm sure we can work something out. We're rooting for Rory. We're just rooting for fun because it's the Open Championship. Can't wait to recap it next week right here on the tee.
Wouldn't it be nice if your summer was filled with more days enjoying